welcome to the commentary zone. As you enter the room, please don't forget to give us a little thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, notification bell, tell a friend. So, welcome to TLC Fridays. Oops, sorry about that. Welcome to TLC Fridays. We'll be doing 3 shows today. First up on the docket is Family Chantel, Season 4, Episode 12, Not So Separate Separation. Oof.
I'm
This
gonna be honest. There wasn't much to this episode. There wasn't that much to this episode for me, but there was
Mhm,
some major. I'll call them red flags. And since I didn't
mhm,
find that much, I'll start with the major red flag for me.
mhm,
Okay, based on the timeline we have, I'm gonna preface this with it. Based on the timeline that we can see, I'm going to side with Chantel and Chantel's family that he
mhm,
is a quote unquote scammer, and here is why.
mhm,
How do you go from saying you just want to have a separation? You move into another room. I understand she's annoying you, blah blah blah, whatever. But how do you go from saying you want a separation, going to meet with a divorce lawyer, getting information, then going home to tell your wife that you want a divorce? And then I am going to say, and then you tell her in the next episode, I'm going to skip a little ahead a little bit because we saw the previews, that you have a truck and a apartment lined up. Sir, you've been planning this for a while. So now I'm Team Chantel.
Well,
Whatever happens to Pedro, I have no sympathy. I'm sorry, I don't.
here's the thing, he could get an apartment easily because he's a realtor, and MLS will have listings for sale and rent. So,
No, I'm not saying that.
that
I'm
he
saying that.
could turn around on that.
Right. I'm saying it's the timeline though. For you to
I
already have
agree
it, you
with you.
know what I'm saying? You know
Mhm.
what I'm
I
saying?
agree with you because I wanna know how they went from the first episode and her Daisy Dukes to it and basically humping in the backyard. Let's not forget that first episode. And such a short span of time, and now we asking for divorce. And I still have yet to hear a real reason why he can't take it anymore. He says that she has no goals. She's a nurse.
A
He
whole nurse.
says, yeah, he says that she's lazy. She's a nurse. I mean, I just, why does he want a divorce?
Right. And she said what you just said. She said, I don't think I've done anything that would warrant him asking me for a divorce. That hit me some kind of way because I agree with her.
Right. Did
And
she
I'm like,
cheat? Did she withhold affection? I think that's a legal term. I can't remember. Did
alienation
she
of, yeah.
alienation of affection, right? And
Hmm.
abandonment of marriage? Did
Hmm.
she do that? Like what? I, he rants a lot, and like I said last week, all of that hostility and anger. Why? What did I know? She's annoying. Don't get me wrong. I know Chantel has faults, but like, what? Huh? How did we get here? Where is the missing part of the storyline? I
And
don't
so
get it.
quickly though, it's the quickness of you go from I want a separation to I want a divorce. People I've known who've gotten divorced, it took them most of them, it took them at least a year to get to that point. And he's made absolutely no effort to go to counseling, nothing. He, he
True.
has, he's put he's put no effort. So to me, that just tells me you were playing this for a minute. I could be wrong, but I'm based on what we can see, you've been playing this for a minute.
But how is all of the blame on her? Like he hasn't said that he's done anything wrong. If anything, he's the person who's done everything throughout this marriage and she's done nothing.
Right.
Yanni says, I'm sure in his ignorance he thought Chantel could stop him from the citizenship by the question he asked the lawyer. Now that he's working with Latinos, they probably said, you don't need her.
Mm.
It's
Mm,
interesting.
that's a very interesting.
But you see, that's, when we talk about 90 Day Fiance Love in Paradise, and even with when we were watching 90 Day Fiance with Kobe and Emily, and I was encouraged to find your community. Find your community. The community is an active resource for them, because a lot of times
Right,
they come over here and they either A, don't know what their rights are. That lawyer was very correct. And B, they might be told something different from their spouse. And they
right,
count on their spouse and they trust their spouse to know what's going on, because obviously that person did apply for the visa for them. However, um, when you find your community, you also find loopholes.
right. True.
You find loopholes, you find avenues for escape, you find bootleg legal counsel, like you find a lot of interesting resources. Yanni has a point. He found his community and they started saying, bruh, hombre.
Look what happened with Daniel when he moved.
Mm-hmm.
When he found his Venezuelan community on to
Mm-hmm.
the Caribbean. They
Yep.
gave him advice.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to see Pedro's side. I used to feel bad for him, like how they would treat him. Now I really don't, because you're not gonna fool me. You're not gonna. I'm not buying the fake tears. I'm not buying those. You're I don't buy them from him simply because of the way he's acted and the timeline we've been given. And when you put everything together, it's like, no, you were planning this.
I just want him to say what the issue is, because what he's saying, even with the closed captions at the bottom, it doesn't make sense to me.
No, I
It
don't.
just
Me neither.
doesn't. Um, but yeah, he goes to see this lawyer. Apparently, he hasn't filed for citizenship yet, but he's at a point where he's been here long enough where he could file on his own. Chantel doesn't have to do it. So he's a cheap mofo, because he could get a uncontested divorce for 5,000 or contested for 1,000 to
No,
start.
uh, no, it's uncontested. No, the retainer, the uncontested is 5,000. The contested is
Oh,
10,000.
contested is 10,000. Okay, but
Yeah,
that's just the retainer. That isn't like
that's just the
billing
retainer.
hours.
Nope.
Well, you wanted the fancy lawyer. I like her though. She's of Caribbean descent, or her husband is of Caribbean descent. That last name Hinkson, I know it's a Barbadian last name, but it could be throughout the Caribbean. Shout out to her and those retainers. Oh
Right.
my God. Let's see. Apparently, Chantel has been crying at his door and going through his drawers or something. She's
Yeah,
looking for
she was cleaning his
evidence.
room. She was cleaning his room and looking for evidence.
She don't clean no place else in that house, but she decided to clean his room when he moves out.
Mhm. Right.
um, so then he talks with his mom and sister, and they encourage him for the divorce. And then he goes home and sits in that unkept backyard. What happened to the backyard? It looks so nice on episode 1, and now it looks like, I don't know, an abandoned house. What is going on in there? Um, and he goes out there and he just tells her, I can't do this anymore. I want a divorce. Huh?
Right. And the way she handled that, I was actually pleased with her, because all she said was like, you know what? Basically, she's like, I don't know what's going on here. You've made your decision, and there's nothing else to talk about. And she closed her book and went inside and left him sitting there. I'm like, that is how you handle it. Great job. Don't sit
I
there and go back
think,
and forth with him.
but she looked kind of numb, like she couldn't process what was being said,
Agreed.
because she does that blinky thing. And then, like, she's just like, I don't like what I'm hearing, so I'm just done. I'm gonna walk away from this and pretend it's not happening.
but she had, but she understood that.
She
She
did.
understood. She understood. And I do want to go
Mhm.
back in the episode. There was one other key point was when she spoke to Destiny, and Chantel was telling Destiny what was going on. Like, she really wasn't giving him his space, yada yada. And when Destiny said, "You're trying to get him to be what he used to be, and that's not in him," I'm like, "Ooh, that
I
was a
love when she
word."
told her, "Let him go. If he
Yes,
wants the space, give it to him." I was like, "Ooh, doot, doot."
Destiny was spot on.
But where was Destiny from season 1 though?
Well, that too.
Where was Destiny? I think she's hired. She's not Chantel's friend.
She's not the real best friend. She's just an
She's
actress.
not stupid enough. Sorry.
And that is true, but I don't really want to touch on. We don't really need to touch on Chantel's family too much, in my opinion, for this episode
That was a
because
wasted scene.
it was a wasted scene. But you could tell they plotting. They
Well,
are
yeah, because
circling the
they
wagon,
turned. They turned on him real quick. Real quick. Like flashback season 1 and 2.
especially River. Whoa.
River.
I was
But
like, whoa. River was not playing no games with his sister. I was
no.
like, oh, snap. Like, you see something River, to me, in River, he's the one who snapped the most. Like, what? Huh? Oh, no. No, 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 no. He's exactly who we thought he were. Okay, we see what's going on. Yeah. Pedro,
Mhm.
dude, you might want to move out of Atlanta. I'm just saying.
Wow. He hung on to get well, he had the green card 6 months after.
Right.
You
It's
get
the
your green
citizenship,
card. Yeah, it's the yeah, you have to wait 5 years unless she applies, but she didn't, so now he can do it on his own.
which is the main problem I have. It's like you waited for the perfect timing to do all this.
Mhm. They coached him well, just like Mohammed and Yvette. He was coached well. He knows the cutoff time. Pedro should be in Hollywood. Oh, I don't think he's that good.
No,
Um, it was it you who said he has the YouTube channel?
I don't think
No,
it
it
was
was
me.
Heidi. Heidi said last night he's got like a lot of things in the works, like a YouTube channel and stuff like that. But I honestly don't really have an interest in them as individuals separate.
Nope.
I had an interest when they were together,
Hmm.
but good luck, Pedro. Let's see. She works like 14 hours on the day she works. Of course, she's
Hmm.
gonna want rest. Yeah. I just think it's a lack of understanding and a lack of communication. Because for him to stand up there and say he wants somebody who has goals, who wants something in life, like, did you not realize who you were married to? Like, she had a real goal and she achieved it. And I feel like you're just shitting all over that.
Exactly. And I think Pedro, if he's trying to have a YouTube channel and do anything entertainment wise, I'm going to be completely honest. This is going to be rude, but it's fine. Sir, no one knows you outside the family Chantel. When I think of the family Chantel, I think of Chantel and her family. I really don't think of you, sir. And that's just the honest truth. That's period
Mhm.
point blank. Any opportunity you have is only if you get any opportunities in the entertainment, it'll only be because of the family Chantel. That's it. You really accomplished nothing on your own in the reality TV world. Because if you took let's put it this way, if we took Pedro out of the picture, we could replace him with anybody, and it would still be the family Chantel.
Yeah.
And that's just the truth. That's just the truth of the matter.
Oh, what about the guy from Love and Hip Hop New York?
Oh,
Rich
Richard Dallas.
Dollars. Yeah. Let's bring him on.
Oh, Karen would have a whole fit, and I would be here for it.
Oh my god. No, they can go exercising together to help maintain his diabetes.
But isn't Rich Dallas older than Karen and Thomas? Just saying.
Probably. Probably.
I mean, I'm just saying. I think Karen was just completely
And they've been married for 37 years, and he can't keep a relationship longer than 37 seconds. They got a lot in common.
right. Because then all we would need is Erica Mena. All we would need is Erica Mena to come to town too.
Oh my God. Gross.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Oh my
And
Lord.
because she'd probably bring Safari with her. That would be a whole mess.
And the babies, the ones that she can show on TV.
The family hip hop. Oh, that would be hilarious. That'd be a whole show. The family hip hop Atlanta. That would be comedy. I'm just
Well,
saying.
we've just created a new show, TLC. Cut us off a percentage. Thank you. Of ad revenue.
Right.
Oh Lord. Black Lavender. That bad? Okay. Financial thing is only unless he gets, yeah, that was good to learn. So that was one of my biggest takeaways from the lawyer. As soon as he gets that US citizenship, she's no longer responsible for him.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how long he takes to apply. Mm-mm-mm. What? He's definitely more like his family, Stephen. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Was all I think Chantel's family was all acting. I would say the the majority of that scene with like the delivery, but once they sat down and started talking, and once River flipped,
Yeah.
Dad got activated because he started talking, and Karen kind of played a backup role, but she
Right.
wasn't doing any of her stupidness like harvesting the U.S. dollar and all that ignorance. Like it was Thomas and River talking, and it got real quick. Buy a 5-bedroom house, then leave. That doesn't make sense to me either. That because oh, I don't know how this went downhill so quickly. And if you think about it, they have like they're not spending several months with these people. Like 2 months of filming, 3
Mhm.
maybe, because they don't have the budgets like how a housewife show does. So they're in and out of filming. So this went downhill real fast.
Right.
Mm-mm-mm. I got played. Mom mediating this time was acting to help her son citizenship for sure. I think he knew about that. Here's my thing, because his mom is a lawyer. She's very familiar with immigration. Um, she knew that he could have applied for his own citizenship at year 5, but instead he decided to tell Chantel, let's bring my mom and sister over. That was his tactic. And I think he stayed an extra year so as it didn't look like he was just scamming for the citizenship.
Right.
Mm-mm-mm. I hope she cleaned that bank account out but left a penny. Ah.
Right.
Oh, Yanni says she got played too. She believed that he loved her. But if he's capable of lying, he never met his brother for TV when he met them years ago. He's capable of any lies. True, true. But I think both of them are. What if, what if, what if they had this arrangement instead of him paying her to marry him for the green card and the citizenship, she said, let's both profit out of this. I'll do you a favor, you do me a favor. I apply for the K1 for you and bring you to the States and get you your green card. If you come on this show with me, and let's see if we can make some money out of this. What if that was it and this is all a farce?
This episode right here. Like I said, it wasn't much to it, but the key points really made me change my mind about Pedro. I don't believe anything he says. Like just like I said before, based on what we can see in the timeline, this was all planned out.
Mm.
But I think the last impression on me, like the key point was when the family said, "Look, get your ducks in order. Make sure you take care of basically your finances and your resources. Don't get left out in the cold." And she would clean that bank account out. I hollered. I don't care.
Mm-mm-mm.
That was funny to me.
Well,
What were your thoughts on that?
well, it's a sorry to say it, but it's one of my typical reactions. Like I would go straight like while you're, fucking around looking for a new apartment or whatever, I'm down at the bank not even down at the bank now. You could transfer that shit on your phone.
Right.
You could set up a new account on your phone and then transfer it out. Like,
I'm glad it's not just
sorry.
me. I'm that kind of petty person. You gonna do all this to me? Really? You think I'm gonna leave you anything? Okay, I'm gonna leave you with exactly what you came here with. Nothing.
I did feel bad in that last confessional of hers where she
Oh, that's
cracked
oh my goodness.
and she could like hardly breathe. And she was saying, I trusted him not to leave me. I don't know why that's sticking with me. I trusted him not to leave me. Because it's
Because
when
she
she
went
said that is when I thought, what if this was all a, quid pro quo thing from the beginning?
like there was a deal in place.
Hmm.
And when she said she went against her family, I'm like, yeah, so that's a hard one. When you go against
And
your
her
family
family's
for
tight.
somebody, yeah.
Mm-mm-mm. But why didn't she go to like this would have been the perfect time to go to her parents for counseling. She went to an unmarried woman for counseling. Like, it
Hey,
doesn't make sense.
YMCM, this is common with married people from another country. He wants his own identity here in the States. Chantel's been controlling and needy, clingy, and very childish. But see, here's
Mhm.
the thing. These are her faults. These are the faults that she's always had, though. Like since the beginning, this
Yeah.
is nothing new. So I'm not gonna hold that against her too much. I think it's more of the fact that how he
Mm.
did it and the timing. I need the actual timeline. You
Ryan
know what I
has a
mean?
good point. Wouldn't a transaction that large for a joint account require both
Nope,
parties' approval? But
nope. It depends on how
any
the account
partner
was
can
set
do
up.
anything. Yeah.
No, 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 it's not. That's not accurate. Typically, with a business, if it's a business account, typically both you open it together with both names on it to where
Hmm.
both uh each person has to sign for any withdrawal. So that's why I said before I want to know how that account was set up and who set it up. That's key. Who set it
Maybe
up?
it
Was
was
it
just a basic joint account and not a business account, but he calls it a
oh,
business account.
okay? In the blogs, they said it was a business account. That's what I was going with.
Yeah, because that's what he submitted to the judge for the emergency hearing that she withdrew from their
Okay,
business account. But maybe
I
that's what
gotcha.
he's just calling it because that's where they put their TLC checks from, like all earnings from Instagram or whatever they do that they call a business.
Right. But typically, if even if it's a joint account, they do put a cap on uh, on what you would withdraw. For example, I know a couple like they have a business account and well business joint account. It's kind of similar to what you're talking about, right? But they have a cap on like 5 grand per day that any
Mhm.
either party could withdraw. That's so no one can go in and just wipe out the bank account clean. Now you can siphon the money off, but that was going to take you a much longer time. It's going to alert the other party.
Mhm.
But I don't think this was set up that way.
Could she go on there and remove it? No, because he said it was put into another account with Winter's name on it.
YMCM, you're another fair point. He also went against his mother and sister for Chantel. Chantel never tried with his family. That's been consistent. And Pedro did try with her
Mhm.
family. Yeah, he did. I'm not gonna take away from what he's done. But we have to stick with what we have now and be like, okay, this is what he's doing at this present time. And for me, like I said, I need to see the real timeline. So we found too many loopholes with the filming. We need the actual timeline of what happened, and we probably won't see that until court.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah.
Well, at least we
I'm
figured out that they're filming this year.
gonna check something real quick. I'm gonna look at one thing real quick. Mm,
I still don't understand how they bought their house in May and filed for divorce in May.
mm.
It this doesn't make sense.
Okay, this is interesting. So let me bring this up real quick. This is this this is I just looked it up because of YMCM's comment, and it was a good one. So maybe do just a quick Google. Let me share this with you. Where'd it go? Alrighty. So I put, does Georgia have 50-50 divorce state? Georgia does not follow community property laws. This means that marital property does not get automatically divided 50-50 between spouses seeking divorce. Instead, Georgia courts follow an equitable distribution approach for property division following a separation. During divorce in Georgia, separate property is typically retained its original owner. Marital property, on the other hand, is subject to division according to the principle of equitable distribution. This means that the property is divided between the spouses according to what is equitable or fair. Ooh, see,
But that's why
that's
he went in there to the lawyer asking for 50-50. Remember? He just want
you're right.
50-50.
Because see, what in Georgia, the way it sounds is, and this is bad. This could be bad for him. I understand, and now this gives me more of an idea why he did that. Because if he put in minimal like finances,
Mhm.
he may not get. They'll basically like if he put in 10%, they'll be like, oh, all you deserve is 10%.
So
That's
if the bulk of the down payment is hers,
correct.
oh, oh,
Like
oh.
say if she put out 90% of the down payment, right?
Mhm.
They could say, they could make a judgment to where they sell the house, but she would get 90% of the money because she put in 90% of the down payment.
Oops. And so I'm assuming she like sells stuff or promotes stuff on social media, right? I mean, isn't that what all these TLC people do?
Mm-hmm.
Does he do that as well? Or was he
What?
busy working in the warehouse?
Right. I'm very interested to see how this breaks down with knowing like how their laws work.
Well, maybe that's why she took the money as well. If at the time of divorce that all that money is in her account, then she keeps it.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't amount to anything to Chantel in life, and the US was better than what he had. But now he has possibilities in a Latino family. Now he's not good enough anymore. Oh, now she's not good enough anymore.
Right.
Oh.
And Pedro came up hard and without. Very
Mhm.
true. Chantel came up here in the United States and spoiled. True. This is a match that will never really mix. I agree. The cute and newness is gone. They are done. I'm going to agree with YMCM on this. I just don't.
Damn! Y'all
It's the
are
truth though.
brutal.
It's the truth though. You break it down to brass tacks. What YMCM is saying is the hardcore truth. Even though Chantel's a whole nurse and accomplished, she did grow up privileged, and
Mhm.
like she basically her and Pedro, if you look at it, kind of grew up in opposites. And
Mhm.
she said that, like, I don't come from a broken home, so I have no point of reference for this. So I'm with the YMCM on this. So they are done. They don't need to drag this out, and
Okay, so
it
Ava
is what it is.
says this was a scam marriage and they both need to be in jail.
Hey,
Oh,
C Cruz, welcome.
welcome.
YMCM
Uh,
still spin the fact they really did not know one another. They were both cute and enjoyed each other. The cute sex. Whereas after a few years, now you are stuck with someone you really do not know. That's fair.
oh my
That's
God.
extremely fair. I think it's accurate. Like, 'cause once you get past
Dang.
the cute and sex, what else do you have?
Chantel should have never married him once she met Nicole. Goodbye. Oh, really?
Hmm.
Yanni says, until last season, I really believed Pedro was scamming her. Then last season, I believe he loved her for real. Even his been best, even him being best friends with River. Mm, I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot missing for me. It's like Swiss cheese right now. It doesn't make logical sense. I just want a reason why he would divorce her. I don't get it. Like
Right.
what like maybe she has really bad habits besides not cleaning. But that's not grounds for divorce unless you're a hoarder. There's nothing in that house that a Swiffer can't run through because there's no furniture. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
and
But
I
this
mean,
was
they have a cat. It's not dead. I mean,
right.
they are tending to something. I don't know.
Hmm.
Never seen
But
affection
overall,
between them. Wait, hold on. Never seen affection between them? That's not true. We've seen
Pinky. I mean, but
Pinky.
it's that kind of new kind of love type thing. And I think what happens, I'm gonna go with YMCM on this one, their sentiment that what happened was the fun, like they stayed in the honeymoon phase for a couple of years, but then it wore
Uh-huh.
off. And then what happened is they started seeing the fault within each other, and they started looking at the person differently. So I think that's, in my opinion, that's what happened.
I think that happened for him. I don't think that ever happened for her.
I'll go with that.
I think she always saw him as the lesser than from DR that she saved. Because in
Mm,
her last confessional, she was like, she keeps on stressing, I brought you here.
yeah.
So I translate that in my head, I'm better than you. You needed me, and I deemed you, barely worthy to help you. Like that, looking down on him and his status. It might not be that bad, but yeah,
No, I know what you're saying.
yeah. It's just I know she might not have thought that, but that's how it translates to me as an immigrant.
Gotcha. Something went very wrong. Once he got into real estate, something went wrong. He says
Mhm.
she does not support him in his endeavors the way he supported her while she was studying in nursing school.
But was was his support of his real estate career her cleaning, washing, and cooking? Was that
Right.
it? Because if that was it, that's bullshit. Y'all could have hired someone to come in there and help you with that. Why did it all fall on her?
Ryan agrees with Susan. All they've ever done is fight off their families. They could never enjoy their relationship since the families didn't support it.
Hmm.
That's what I'm saying. But that was like 80 months ago. Love doesn't die that fast. Ava says once he made money, he realized he was a bum, and his wife wanted cabana boy, so he needed to get a new girl to feel like a man. Definitely not. Definitely not. Definitely not a level relationship. Yeah, there is a power dynamic there. 'Cause, like, I said, he was a bum. He was a bum. He needed to get a new girl to feel like a man. Definitely not. Definitely not. Definitely not a level relationship. Yeah, there is a power dynamic there. Let's see. He did not support her. TLC did. Well, Yanni agrees. Ava says he paid for his mom's lifestyle. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. The families on both sides did not really help. His sister and mom and Chantel's mom. But yeah, they were always in the middle of a fight.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of, I agree with the chat. It's hard to enjoy a relationship when both families are against it. It makes it very difficult.
But if she wasn't studying to be a nurse, I would understand if she didn't have a baby 2 years in, Ava. I would understand that. Because if that was her
Yep.
ultimate goal to be a nurse, I would want to finish my schooling first. They all send money back home to family. Yeah, that is very,
Oh
very
yeah.
true. Yeah.
Yeah. And I
You
think that's the
send
right thing to
money,
do.
you send barrels, you send food, TVs,
Mhm.
computers. When you go back home for visits, your suitcases are full of stuff for everyone else. And what little clothes you have, they might even ask you for those. So you coming back home empty. Pedro was also a fitness trainer when he was working at the warehouse, wasn't he? I thought he was just in the gym and doing keto. I don't know.
I didn't know that. I thought he was just working in the warehouse. That's all they talk about.
Hmm. The conversation right after graduation should have been baby, baby, baby. I think she was talking about that, and he was just like, no. Mm-mm-mm.
Right. He never seemed keen on having children anyway, in my opinion.
With her, because that was one of
Yeah.
my first thumbnails for this season.
Yeah. It was.
She was looking for it. He was like, you ain't ready for a baby. Mm-mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. Chantel's already had no child. Get out of here. Because she won't be going on vacation all the time. You can't be you can't be going on vacation all the time with a baby. Sorry.
But if she's doing weekend getaways, it's not bad. She has a hard job. More lies, business,
Ava,
open. Oh
Ava.
my God. I think she wants a man with a degree. Because, yeah, he was supposed to go to school. What happened to that?
Mm-hmm.
Ah. Did he want to make something of himself before kids? Yes. And that's why I thought because remember when she failed? It was last season,
Right.
right? And he got pissed and he was like, it was supposed to be my turn to go to school and you messed this up. I
Right.
was just like, oh, okay. But then when she did finally graduate, she was like, so are you going to school? And all of a sudden he got the real estate gig.
Mm-hmm. And I agree with YMCM on this one. There's a
Mhm.
man out there for Chantel and another one for Pedro. You know how to stay together and be him. I agree. Because
They can
now if
stay
they're
together.
unhappy,
They can
mm-mm.
stay together and be unhappy and entertain us. We need a new Angela and Michael.
Well, for me, I don't have anything else for this episode, to be completely
Yeah,
honest. That there
it
wasn't
was.
much for me anyway, but the conversation with the chat was so good. So, but I'm through with this
Yeah,
episode.
the end was. Yeah, it was just the end part for me and the attorney.
Yes, agree.
Those two sections, that was it. So, y'all, this was the Family Chantel season 4, episode 12. Not so separate separation. I want a divorce. All right, guys, meet us at the top of the hour. Seeking Sister Wives?
Is this a
Yes.
consistent one? Yeah.
Yes, Seeking Sister Wives. All right, guys, bring your notes. That episode was kind of like poo-poo meh. But
Right.
okay, we'll be here. We'll talk about it. So until next time, Jamal.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Bye.